Okay, here's my Raw. At Hartford, Connecticut, the day after the Money in the Bank pay-per-view, which was not good at all. The WWE really need to straighten out a lot of stuff before Battleground. Did they do in this show? No! In fact, they tried more shock value than anything else. I'm just going to put down at my title, Rant. That's it. And don't get me wrong, a lot of stuff in the show was not all bad. But I'm honestly being straight here. When it comes to the WWE and them working on the network, they really believe they're going to give a quality show at $9.99 with this type of content, and people are going to love it. This isn't great content. This is stupid content. Let's get this stuff done. When it comes to Seth Rollins, and we've seen him with RVD enough. If they had moved him on to somebody else, I would have been okay with this match, honestly. Seeing him work with someone else. But he's gone through RVD how many times now? 3 times already? It would have been better to have a better person to match him with. And this was not needed, honestly. I was bored with this match because I've seen it already 3 times. So, I don't care about it. Next, the Wyatts versus the Usos and Sheamus. I'm sorry for you, bro. Look, Sheamus was a great character at one point. Now he's completely generic. The Usos are getting there themselves. I mean, they're still well over. But let's be honest here. Both these groups, the Usos and Sheamus, really... you see I'm upset about this because this wasn't necessary. If the Usos had the job at the pay-per-view, that would have been alright. Them having given up the titles after so many months, it would have been alright for them to fight to get it back. But they won it. It was an Uso that had to give up this match here. So what does that mean? They're going to keep doing this feud with the Wyatts until Battleground. Which honestly is average now. These guys have great chemistry, but I've seen it so many times with these guys, I'm bored. And is Bray Wyatt going after the US Championship? If he was, it would make sense. That's if what happened later in the night didn't happen. And I'm doing this now. The person I feel that got the shaft here the most was The Miz. And this is when they're saying, oh, a multi-time world WWE champion is coming back. Now, seeing The Miz come back after being gone about 4 months doing the Marine 4 was not bad. I was alright seeing The Miz. Hopefully I thought, well, maybe they're going a different direction now. He played a good guy, I believe. Usually does. So, seeing this would have been alright. But what do we get? Chris Jericho comes back exactly at the same time, completely minimizing The Miz. Look, I like Chris Jericho. In fact, I might actually do a debate of the week on his review with AJ Styles. I'm actually considering doing it. You guys can tell me below if you want me to do a review of the radio interview between Chris Jericho and AJ Styles, because it did happen. And I'll actually leave a link for that if I'm actually going to do it. But let's be honest here. We love Chris Jericho. But what has Chris done in the last 2.5 years? Nothing. He came back and worked with CM Punk and did almost nothing. He did not win anything. He worked with Dolph Ziggler. Didn't do anything. It was a waste of time for him coming back and jobbing so much where he really needed once in a while to actually win. He jobbed the Fandango, and I'll be bringing him up soon, at WrestleMania. And since then, he has been jobbing so much that you think that an older wrestler doing some work with some younger talent would be great. But that's if he's still relevant. And as much as the crowd jizzed for him, I don't see it. So then when it comes to Bray Wyatt and his brothers in arms, and they destroying Chris, you think, one, you just had a match with the Usos and Sheamus. You would think that Bray Wyatt is going to be going after the US title, which would make some sense. But no. He now messes with Chris Jericho, completely negating what's going on with Sheamus, unless they're going to just forget about nailing Chris Jericho, which made no sense. If you get my point of view of this show was all shock value, and it didn't even do it right. It made such a mess of it. I didn't understand it. Next, Sandow and McMahon, and I gotta say this was a bit funny, versus the Great Khali. Oh my goodness gracious. This, I said it before and I say it again. He's better as a heel. A serious heel showing intelligence. He should be in the main event, but he's not. He's stuck with doing these parodies constantly over and over again. And this time he did a parody of Vincent Kennedy McMahon. And his daughter gets mad at him and throws the Great Khali at him. And supposedly these are the two guys that's going to be in the Battle Royal for the IC Championship because Bray Wyatt got hurt. Bray Wyatt. I'm getting confused because I'm upset. I'm sorry. Bad News Barrett had a separated shoulder. He'd be out for months. In fact, I believe this is the second time he had a separated shoulder because he got hurt before with his shoulder. Hopefully it's not the same shoulder, but you get my point. And Damien jobbed within 1 minute. How the mighty had fallen. He was a great character. The intellectual savior of the masses is now jobbing to the Great Khali. Breathe. This is how your blood pressure can get high, ladies and gentlemen. Yeah, you're venting, but still you can get high blood pressure. Relax. Now, I will go to the things that weren't bad for the show. But I'm leaving the best for last for me personally. No, actually, I'm going to get to John Cena a bit over now so I can do the things I did like about this show. I'm going to do it now. John Cena in the opening segment with Triple H and Stephanie. This was about John Cena, so Triple H and Stephanie coming out first meant nothing. I'm sorry. It didn't mean a damn thing since John Cena came out with both titles around his damn neck. And then the most stupidest thing that I've seen Triple H do. Try to act down and dirty in the hood, baby. He trying to talk smack to John Cena since they're not far from Newbury, Mass. I don't get why he did that. Why was he acting like that, talking about the Doctor of Thugonomics? We know he's never going to switch back to it. It made no sense for him to do that. Just because John Cena talked a little bit didn't mean it was great. Honestly, it was stupid. But he did clearly state that at Battleground, John Cena, will be facing a Roman Reigns, a Randy Orton, and a very irrelevant Kane in a fatal four-way. And later in the night, you're going to have Roman Reigns as your partner against Randy Orton and Kane. So let's do this match. I want to get over the frustrating things. The last frustrating thing is at the end of this review. And you know what I'm probably going to talk about. But how was the match? It was a standard match that wasn't bad. Knowing that Randy Orton's scalp was busted open was interesting. But in the end, what do we get? Randy Orton running in the back with Roman Reigns. So they can totally demolish John Cena. Make him look weak so when he goes in Battleground, he'll look strong. I really didn't care. I didn't. Seeing Seth Rollins come down with the Money in the Bank ladder match briefcase, I knew he wasn't going to cash it in. It's too soon. And there's nothing between John Cena and Seth Rollins yet. And I'm saying this honestly. Seth Rollins isn't a bad character. He's not a bad wrestler. But honestly, trying to pair him against John Cena? What a waste. Really a waste. So in the end, when Dean Ambrose came out, and he did cut a great promo on Seth Rollins' match after it was over, I am alright with that. Then the final part of the entire show. Roman Reigns comes back and spears Kane, which I wasn't surprised to see. Because Kane is a bitch now. And I like Kane. But his character is so bitch-like, there's nothing there. And then the stare down between Triple H and him. Do I believe there's going to be a match at SummerSlam between these two? Possible. Sorry for the noise. Who knows? It's a possibility. But it's going to depend on how they're going to structure what's going up to Battleground and afterward. So let's move on to the things I did like about the show. Fandango and Dolph Ziggler. That match, I felt, and I believe several people, if you hadn't remembered me saying that sooner or later Dolph Ziggler is going to be matched up with Summer Rae. It just seems like it's going to happen. And when you see Summer Rae comes to the ring, walks up to Dolph, flips that blondish hair at him, and gives him a kiss, you realize that she's going to be using this stupid triangle. Then when he grabs her back and gives her a kiss, she was shocked, shocks Fandango, upsets my Layla. My Layla looking real mad like, that motherfucker still loves that woman. Why the fuck am I with her? Maybe I should be with Zane. He loves me. I had to do it. But you get my point. It wasn't a bad segment. They're still doing the triangle bit. Now Dolph Ziggler is going to be involved in some way. Maybe he will be paired up with Summer Rae as a tag team. Mixed tags, they usually do it. Do I believe that she'll be his manager? There's a good chance she will. Because they always seem to like to pair him up with somebody. You never know. The next thing that looked stupid, but is building into the Battle Royal for the IC Championship. Kofi versus Cesaro. Now, the little line with Paul is Paul. But seeing Kofi win during the, well, in between the commercials, I didn't mind it. But seeing him get his ass destroyed made me think they're trying to build him up for the IC Championship. Then Michael Cole got his ass taken out. Talking, oh no, look out. That was funny. Doesn't mean he didn't get actually hurt. But you get my point. It wasn't a bad situation for Kofi Kingston. I would have liked to see Kofi win that Money in the Bank ladder match, but you know how they are at WWE. But that means he may be going for the IC Championship. They want to try and build him properly. Let's just go with it for what it is. Santina Marella and Adam Rose doing the Twisted Tea segment. They're trying to sell some Twisted Tea, I believe. It was funny. I liked it. Let's move on. Rusev Uriel. Rusev Antal. I laughed my ass off with this. I could leave this for the end, but you know my feeling about Naomi and what happened with Paige. I have to do that. That's the rant of the night. But when you see this segment trying to hype up the USA champs, this was epic. Because it wasn't the fact that Jack Swagger was the one who came out and got over on Rusev. It was the fact that the crowd started chanting his name. Oh my gosh. By the great spirit, what the hell was I looking at? I was looking at Bizarro World. I didn't expect. I knew that the real Americans were going to come out. The very first thought I had in my head when Rusev stopped talking instantly was, someone's got to come out. It's not going to be big. It's got to be real Americans. The music hits. He comes down to the ring. The USA chant was fine. I expected it. But I didn't expect them to actually chant for, "Let's go Swagger! Let's go Swagger!" I did not expect that. It terrified me to think that the crowd, the WWE Universe, took in a turn of a face like that. I'm not a Swagger fan. I still think of him as an American trucker who's been too lonely and screws some horses or screws some cows alongside of the road because he has nothing better to do, and are not messing with truckers. This is just a parody. But I never expected the crowd to actually chant for him. I didn't. Oh my goodness. I got lightheaded. It made me sick. I just started to laugh. But it's a build. I don't know how far they're going to go with Jack Swagger as a face. If this even sticks. The WWE Universe may want someone to be face, but once the brass in the back makes the decision, it doesn't mean they stick with it. So if he has turned face, it'll be something different from him. He's always been a heel. Always. So this will be different. Really. Now, the Nikki Bella segment. The interview. Stephanie coming out saying got to do the match. I believe Bo Dallas was brought out there to give her time to get ready. That was obvious. They had the commercials, but she wasn't ready yet. So he came out and did his little bit, which gave him a good rub with the video. With Daniel Bryan. With the one that the crowd jizzes on themselves for. It was actually very good. I enjoyed a Bo Dallas segment. Here comes Naomi and Cameron coming down to the ring. My Naomi looking gorgeous. Cameron did finally what we expected her to do. Turn heel. Get angry at Naomi. Face to face. They almost looked like they wanted to kiss one another. I was actually going to go, give her a kiss, Naomi. Just go, mwah. Give her just one kiss. But then I remembered she's actually married, and I don't know how Jonathan would feel. Maybe he may want a threesome, but then Ariane's actual boyfriend may get angry. So, I'm sorry, I'm not trying to make up any type of conflict. But they were dead face this close. And it felt real. The thing about this is, we've seen divas go up against each other many, many times before. We rarely see black divas go up against each other. Let's be honest. How many times have we seen white divas? A whole bunch of times. Black ones? With real beef? This will be something different that I will actually be interested in. And it was structured very well. I'm wondering, you guys tell me below, did Cameron actually get a boob job? Because the last time they actually had their match, and that was Naomi and Paige, she looked like she had real titties. It looked like she had real meat in those breasts. You guys can tell me below. And now let's do this. The final segment for me. Paige and AJ. Now I'm sure a couple of people are happy that there's a good chance that AJ's turned face, which she should be. She's a better face. She isn't a great heel, but I don't think that's truly what happened here. Paige took the title off of AJ at WrestleMania. It's been 4 months, roughly. And now Paige loses the title back to AJ right after Money in the Bank. Why couldn't Naomi get the title? Why did they have to do this for AJ? Whose dick has she been sucking? Naomi is one of the strongest characters they had, and now she's in a new feud with someone completely different that we've ever seen. That we never seen, I'm sorry. But you get my point. The person that should have had that title was Naomi. It would have made better sense. Because you could have done something with Paige where she would want to have revenge. She wanted to get her title back. She would fight alongside Naomi or join Cameron. And then Naomi would have had an actual feud with more than one diva that would have been interesting. But now we got Paige dealing with AJ now. Going back and forth between the titles that should have gone to someone entirely different that the people really wanted to see. And I'm fucking raving about this because when I saw this actually happen on Raw, when I saw AJ, I thought, no, they're not going to be stupid enough to force a Paige dropping her title to an AJ. AJ wants a match. Paige says no. The crowd says yes. Then we get the match, and as quickly as it happens, AJ wins. And the minute I saw that, I was so angry. I started yelling in my apartment, in this apartment, why the fuck would WWE be that stupid? They have an opportunity to do something different with a female black wrestler that has ability, that looks like she may have very good ability to talk, that the crowd likes, and is now in a feud that you don't see. 2 black women on WWE actually having a fucking feud. And we don't see that shit. This is the most stupidest thing the WWE has ever done. And you guys tell me below why I'm wrong. Because I want to hear why you want to justify Paige dropping it to AJ. Because it made no sense. AJ had the time. She's paid most of the pain for what happened with CM Punk. Throwing the title on her is stupid because they should be using the title to promote Total Divas if that's what they're going with. You guys tell me below what you believe about this segment, what happened with Paige and AJ and everything else. Oh, I had to get that out. And I hope you enjoyed the Zane's View. Please give me a comment below and tell me what do you believe should have happened with the Divas Championship title. You guys have a good day and have a good night. Peace out!